21-year-old gangster Jardel Jones had put his life on the line. The end result would be standing in front of a judge as his family in the gallery gasped and cried when a judge bestowed on Jardel a sentence of 21 years. 21 years in jail after being found guilty of conspiracy to commit an M. On June 17th of 2020, Jardel Jones and at least 3 members of a gang had travelled to Gilpin Square, E5, in a stolen car. Each young man had selected their own blade and kept it on their persons while travelling into rival territory. Now Jardel, who is from Homerton, and his pals were itching to K rivals from the Newington gang. So, just before 4:30 p.m, Jardel, who was wearing gloves, had spotted a 17-year-old teenager riding a bike. When Jardel got out of the car, he and the teenager locked eyes. They looked at each other, and an unspoken reaction prompted the teenager to flee the scene. However, Jardel was quick. With his blade already on full display, Jardel had chased his victim, actually caught up with the teenager, and then swiped and jabbed. Put his blade into the victim's back. After Jardel had praised himself for a job well done, leaving the victim on the ground, Jardel then walked back to the car and fled the scene. Concerned members of the public called 999 and they begged for police and ambulance crew to attend. By the time emergency services arrived at the scene, Jardel was long gone, and the victim was taken to hospital for treatment, and thankfully, the blade did not cause much damage to vital organs, and they survived. When police questioned the victim and asked them who did this, the victim, who said to be Jardel's rival, refused to speak or cooperate to officers about the motive or the person responsible. Detective Sergeant Andy Rice from the Hackney Gangs Task Force says that this was an extremely challenging investigation due to the fact that the victim refused to engage with the investigation, meaning they did not want to be a grass. However, Jardel was linked to the attempted M through CCTV. Also, Jardel had left DNA at the scene, and his phone put him at the scene too, and if that was not enough, Jardel had spoken to his brother, who was in jail at the time, and over the course of the conversation, Jardel mentioned going on a ride out and blading a rival. That conversation was recorded. Safe to say the Homerton gangster was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit an M, 2 counts of possession of a blade, and on May 23rd he was found guilty of those charges, those crimes. Jardel was then told that he would have to serve 21 years in jail. That's the same amount of time that Jardel has been alive. He was then led out of court. Does the crime match the sentence? Let me know. Stay safe.